Hello, I'm Don Hammock, Sports Information Director at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Welcome to a joyous edition of Bulldog Blitz, where the South Division champ Mississippi Gulf Coast Bulldogs defeated the Hinds Eagles 31-21 here at Raymond tonight. We'll talk with Coach Jack Wright and a couple of his players while we take a look at some highlights of the game tonight. Later on in the show, we'll introduce you to TJ Ficklin, the defensive back, and also we'll talk with tennis coach Gary Bourgeois about his 2020 tennis teams. Stick around. Here on the field with South Division champion head coach Jack Wright. How does that sound?
Sounds great. It's hard to hold back the emotion. Just extremely proud of these young men, how hard they work. So it's definitely a big payoff.
I thought your team showed a lot tonight. First time you've given up points in the first quarter. First time you've been behind. You were behind a couple times and rebounded. What does that say about your squad?
There was no any real sense of panic. There was no real sense of surprise. The surprise is we haven't been behind some. This is a tough league, and so going behind early in the game was not surprising. One thing we talked about all week was, Hinds was really playing for their life. They had to win tonight to get into the playoffs. A very good football team at their place. There's no surprises tonight that they played really well and put us behind early.
Defensively, after you got behind, and even while you were behind, they were generating turnovers, 4 takeaways in the first half. They rebounded and played well after a little bit of a rocky start.
Yeah, we made some adjustment. Coach Schufelt, you got to give him a lot of credit. He made an adjustment or two. He kind of had Plan B ready to go. With that wound up getting called, I think a little bit more than you'd expect, but that's not unusual in defensive football. Still a talented group, a lot of negative plays and a lot of turnovers like you said.
Offensively, you guys really, I thought in the second quarter into the third quarter, really imposed the will of the offensive line. They really kind of took over the game and were able to run it down their throat.
Yeah, I think that's the sign of a good offense. You get up 2 touchdowns or maybe a little bit more. Late in a conference game, can you run the football when you have to run the football? The opposite of that is in the first half, I thought the passing game was very efficient. So being able to do both when we want to do it has been a big key for us this year.
One big play was the Omni Wells run. Hinds had just scored to go ahead. Next play, Omni goes 65 yards. What happened on that play?
Just a little pitch to the left, trying to get our running back some space. We feel like they're dynamite if we can get them just a little bit of room. So we pitched it out there to him to the left. We got 2 really good blocks on the perimeter. The free safety came down and was free. I think the Omni kind of gave him a little bit of a juke and then just beat him with speed to the outside. I was standing right there. I was sure he was going to go out of bounds, but he didn't. I saw the whole thing. It was very close, but he stayed in and he turned on the speed. Omni's extremely fast, maybe the fastest player on the team. So when he got around the edge and got a little bit of a lead on the other defenders, it was pretty much over. 276
yards rushing. Chance, I thought, was efficient tonight. I think it was 19 of 32 for 216, something like that. Y'all were able to kind of dial up whatever you wanted to, it felt like, there after a while.
Yeah, it was really good. The thing about Chance is the big throws come when you need them the most. I think we were backed up on like a 3rd and long early in the third quarter, and momentum really could have shifted right there if we had to punt the ball back over to them. We had a big play in the middle of the field to Marquise for a first down. So I'm singling out that play, but I think if you go back and watch, there's going to be some big throws at some very timely moments that keep the chains moving, or maybe they score.
I think that was the play Marquise had to pay the price. He got hit pretty good. I think that was that play.
It was.
I heard you tell the guys afterwards they got 3 days to kind of celebrate, take a little time off, because we'll play a week from Saturday.
How many times in your life are you going to be 9-0 in damn South State? Hey, you got 3 days off in the
We'll play at Perkinston. We haven't set the time yet, but you get a home playoff game. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna play home or away, obviously you want to play at home. Our kids play fast on the turf. They feel comfortable on the turf. We practice on it every day. I know we will have a very good home crowd down in South Mississippi. I'm not exactly sure who the opponent is, but it'll be a really good team. from the north. Just really excited for our kids. I mean, 9-0 is hard to do, Don. I mean, you're talking about some really good teams that you go against every day. You're talking about not making any major mistakes that cost you a game, and that's very difficult to get through a season with. So, just you can't really understate the level of achievement I think that we've accomplished this year as a group.
This was essentially the first of 3 playoff games to win the state. Gulf Coast was in the playoffs, but now you get a home field advantage. You get to play the number 2 seed from the north and get to see what happens. So we're looking forward to it.
Right, should be a fun 2 or 3 weeks.
Congratulations, Jack.
Thank you, Don.
Here on the field with big offensive lineman Hayden Burton from Bogachita, Mississippi. Hayden, South Division champs. What does that make you feel like?
It feels good. We've put in a lot of hard work since the season ended last year, but at the same time, we realized we got a lot of football left to play.
Head to the playoffs next week. Let's talk about tonight first. You guys got behind. First time you've been behind all year. What was the mentality like?
Just respond. That's what the coaches have preached to us all year is respond and one play at a time. And the defense has had our backs in some games throughout the season. We had to have their back tonight.
It looked like, especially there, that when you came out of the locker room, the offensive line was kind of able to impose your will. You had long drives that were Russian dominated. What were y'all doing out there?
It's like you said, we were just imposing our will, and we were just coming off the ball, being physical. They threw some stuff at us formation-wise that we hadn't really gone over this week in practice, but we just adapted to it and kept pushing forward, one play at a time.
One of the biggest plays was a big touchdown run by Omni Wells, immediately answered a score by Hinds. What happened on that play?
It's just what we were coached to do. We're just playing ball. We're professionals, and we're used to it. That's just how we do.
Defense picked it up after a little bit of a slow start. What did you see from them as the game went on?
Just effort. Once they realized we had their back, they just kept plugging away. I mean, the Hinds had some really good players on offense, and the bad things are going to happen sometimes. It's a sport, but you just got to keep plugging.
All right, congratulations, South State champ.
Thank you.
Here on the field with linebacker Navonteque Strong from Forest, Mississippi. Navonteque, South Division champs, how does that make you feel?
Feel great. Coming in with a bunch of guys that wanted to play strong and be humble.
What were y'all able to do tonight to get them slowed down? They got 14 points on y'all fairly early, but then after that it was slim pickings.
They came in with the high head. They knew they had something to play for, and we just came out second half and shut it out.
What did you see on the other side of the ball from our offense?
Man, offense play outstanding. Chan throwing a lot of great balls and receiver converting on the passes and scoring.
I think the offensive line was able really to kind of impose their will. We ran the ball pretty well as well. I think you get 3 days off here to enjoy tonight.
Yes, sir.
But what's next on the plate?
Got to come back next week and do the same thing we always do, grind.
All right. Hey, tell me about the play there, the last play, the sack. They were driving there with about a minute to go. What happened on that play?
Coach Drew called the play, and I just saw the hole line up, and I just took my shot.
Good feeling, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. Congratulations, Bug.
Thank you.
TJ Ficklin is the big defensive back from Brandon, Mississippi. Let's meet TJ.
I started playing around the age of 5th grade, and I really just enjoy it because I get to go out there with people that I know and love and just able to play. I would say my versatility and my aggression. I mean, I'm really aggressive on the field, and I just can really play anything the coach needs me to. But when I took my visit to Gulf Coast, I really felt like it was home. I mean, I took a couple more visits to junior colleges around the state, but it just caught my eye, and I just fell in love with it from day one. The facilities are great, man. I love everything about this place. The weight room, the fields, all that, the dorms. It's just like family around here, like if you was at your hometown. The DBs, well, I would say we kind of a hungry group. I mean, I really feel like a lot of people doubting us, so I feel like every time we touch the field, it's like a chip on our shoulder that we gotta do better. Coach McDougal, he's a fun guy. He likes to get serious when it's time to get paid, but when we just going through the motions, and he's a real nice guy, and he knows what it takes to get it done. It's just a lot of competition, and then you just work against the best every day, so it makes you the best, you know. And then you just compete, but when it comes game time, you know, he got your back. My favorite class, I would say, would probably be college algebra. She really helps me, Miss Morgan. She helps me get my work done, and she's always very helpful with any extra things I need done if I need to stay out of the class or anything. I'm the type of person, if I like to do something, I like to go big. It's all in or nothing. You got to go for everything. My free time, I like to watch film and study the game, and then do the classwork that I need to do, and just hang out with my teammates. I feel like the closer we are, the better bond we have.
Gulf Coast running back Omni Wells is the Primerica player of the game for the win in Hinds. Wells had 104 yards rushing on just 9 carries, including a 65-yard touchdown run. Primerica is committed to helping Main Street families save and invest for their short-term and long-term goals, providing life insurance and investment opportunities through mutual funds, managed investments, annuities, and business retirement plans. Contact Mike Landrum to learn more about Primerica at 601-268-0805 or at primerica.com/mlandrum, or contact your local Primerica office. Congrats to Omni Wells, tonight's Primerica player of the game. Coach Gary Bourgeois has assembled a lot of talent on the Bulldogs 2020 men's and women's tennis team. Let's talk with Coach Bourgeois and introduce you to some of his players.
I'm very optimistic about our program with a lot of freshmen coming in. I feel like we have the work ethic, the attitude, and the competitive nature that you want in a team, especially a team full of freshmen. So I think we can compete really well with the top of the teams in the MACJC this year. I think both teams are working hard. There's a lot of competition on both teams. The men coming off a 16-1 record with 4 players coming back from last year, but those players in the middle of the lineup. I brought in 2 players, Seth McCoot and Shaban Bodish, and I think both of those guys are really working hard, really being leaders for our team, and going to really lead the rest of our players. There's a lot of competition going on in the bottom of the lineup, but I really like, because those points are just as important as the top of the lineup. Doubles is looking really strong. I think that could be the strength of our program this year. Coming off a trip to the NCAA National Championships last year, with those 4 players coming back, they can lead us. Those young guys, especially with the experience they have from competing in the state, which we came in second for the 5th year in a row. So we want to get over that hump. We want a championship ring this year, and these guys are certainly determined. I got 4 sophomores coming back that really played well last year. We got Patrick Roth, who won the double state championship with Evan Chubb. We got Wesley Fontaine, who won the number 5 singles MACJC Region 23 championship last year. We got Clint Verrett, who was a really good player, played number 3 for us last year. And we got Reed Crow, who played also number 3 doubles for last year. So those guys are competing to get in the lineup again this year. We got some strong competition coming in from some freshmen. We got Raymond Quao from Biloxi, who's playing a really strong tennis right now. We got Grant Eubanks from George County playing real well. We got Mason Gillette from Van Cleve competing well. So those players understand, because they've talked to the 4 sophomores. They know the experience those guys have and what it takes to win, and they're competing, they're working hard, and just as a matter of time, the more matches they play, the better they're going to get. The women, with 9 freshmen coming in, I'm very, very optimistic about them. We got 3 players coming off the Stone State High School Championship. Anna Stringer, Kaylin Bond, Josie Lyons, all these girls are really competing well and doing well. We brought in 2 strong internationals from England, Chrissy and Noni Charleston, both of them playing really strong tennis right now. We got a lot of competition going on at the end of the lineup as well, with a girl from Florence, Chastity Snyder. One of our players that's really looking good this fall is Tia Tops from Grenada. Tia came in, work ethic is awesome, really good left-handed player. She's going to give a lot of single players trouble with that left-handed serve, so we're looking forward to her really doing well. And right now she's competing for 4, 5, or 6, and I think she's going to be a solid player for us, and I'm looking forward to seeing her success on the court. We've got Annalise Sandridge, that's going to really lend a lot of depth to the women's program as well. So all these girls are competing really hard right now. We really haven't set our lineup yet. We're doing really well in the fall in our scrimmages. The girls are getting a lot of quality experience. Bringing in this many freshmen, 9 freshmen, it's getting them acclimated to the speed of a faster ball, a smarter opponent, and getting them understanding that it's a lot of things have to change from their high school game. We do a lot of classroom work, make sure they understand, give them written tests. It's more like a college class than it really is in the fall, especially than just a tennis team. So they're learning a lot, and they're putting in a lot of extra work after court hours. So I'm really impressed with their attitude, their work ethic, and the desire they want to win. They want a championship. And I think all the pieces of the puzzles are together. We just have to figure out right now how to compete on this level, and they're doing that every day. One element that we've added this year I feel will really help us close the deal this year will be the addition of 2 coaches. Sam Blackburn and Nico Bettinger both played for us and have done an outstanding job as players. Now they've transcended into coaching positions, and both are really helping a lot this year. So I think with our good coaching staff and the players and talent we have, I think that this could be a really successful year for us. The state looks really strong this year. On the women's side, we got Ficklin that looks really strong. They have some of the top players coming back from last year, plus they brought in some really strong players. E09 looks really strong on the girls' side this year with 2 strong international players. Jones looks very strong throughout their lineup. Meridian strong. So it's going to be really a shootout on the women's side. On the men's side, again, you've got the same cast of characters. You got Meridian, you got Jones, you got Itawamba, you got Ficklin, you got East Central that's really strong this year. So I'm really looking forward to the season. I think there's no set favorite. I think it's going to come down to whoever can be injury-free during the season and have depth. So I think the teams with the greater depth are going to be successful. I think both teams, every year our goal, of course, is to win MGCCC and go to the national championships. We've done that really well in the last number of years. So this year, with the men's winning 5 second-place finishes, we're really on a mission this year to bring home that ring and bring Gulf Coast a championship. We missed it by a couple courts last year. We missed it by a couple courts the year before. So hopefully this year we brought in some pieces of the puzzle we feel that will complete the puzzle and give us a championship. The girls' side, I think the sky's the limit. The talent is there. They just have to understand the game a little more and understand where to direct and redirect the ball a little better. And when they figure all that out, I think we're going to have an outstanding team.
Thank you for another episode of Bulldog Blitz. We'll be back with you next week from ALMA Memorial Stadium in Perkinston, the first round of the MGCCC playoffs.